Welcome back. We're transitioning again from the music to the talk. And right now we're just going to take a short bit to dive into the beginning of all beginnings, a story that holds the foundation of our world, our choices, and our hope. Story of Genesis 1 through 3, where we witness creation's glory, humanity's fall, and a promise that would echo throughout time. In the very beginning, when there was only darkness and silence, God spoke, and everything began. With just a word, he called light into existence, separating it from the darkness. This was the first day and the start of a masterpiece. Each day after, God brought more into being, shaping the world like an artist painting a breathtaking canvas. He stretched out the sky and gathered the waters, making seas and dry land. Trees and plants of every kind sprouted from the earth, each one brimming with life and seeds for future growth. God adorned the sky with sun to light the day, the moon to brighten the night, and the stars to scatter light across the heavens. He filled the seas with fish and the skies with birds, creating every creature from the greatest to the smallest. Then on the sixth day, God paused to create something truly special. He formed a beam to reflect his own image, humanity. From the dust, he shaped a man, and with his own breath, he filled him with life. This man named Adam was God's own creation, entrusted with a purpose and a place within the world. Then God created a woman, Eve, as a companion for Adam, and someone with whom he could share the joy and responsibility of tending creation. Together, Adam and Eve were blessed to care for all that God had made. When God had completed his work, he looked over everything and saw that it was very good. On the seventh day, he rested, establishing a rhythm of rest and reflection, a time to savor the beauty of life. God planted a beautiful garden in a place called Eden, a paradise filled with trees bearing fruit, each one as lovely to see it as it was delicious to eat. In the center of the garden stood two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam and Eve were free to enjoy everything in the garden, all except the fruit from the tree of knowledge. God told them that eating from this tree would lead them to certain death, a boundary that, though mysterious, was meant to protect them. This command presented a choice. Would Adam and Eve trust God's wisdom and love, or would they seek what was forbidden? Day by day, Adam and Eve lived in harmony. They were free from shame, free from fear, and they walked in close relationship with God and each other. Everything was whole. Everything was complete. But then one day a voice spoke. The serpent, cunning and subtle, approached Eve with a question that planted doubt. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Eve answered, explaining God's command about the tree of knowledge. But the serpent insisted, you surely will not die. God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Curiosity stirred in Eve's heart. She looked at the tree again, its fruit shining with the promise of something more. She reached out, took a bite, and in that moment, everything changed. She shared the fruit with Adam, and he too ate, drawn by the same desire. Suddenly, their innocence was gone. They felt shame for the first time and covered themselves with fig leaves, hiding from each other and soon from God. When God came to walk with them in the garden that evening, he called out, "Where are you?" Adam confessed, admitting their disobedience, that they felt exposed, broken in a way that they couldn't fully understand. God, in his love and justice, pronounced the consequence of their actions. Life would now be marked by hardship, pain, and the reality of death. Adam and Eve would leave the paradise of Eden, yet even in this judgment there was a glimmer of hope, a promise. In this darkest moment, God spoke of a future victory. He told the serpent that one day the offspring of the woman would crush his head, though it would come at great cost. This promise was a seed of hope, a hint of a Savior who could one day come to conquer sin and restore humanity's broken relationship with God. Before sending them out of Eden, God made garments of animal skin to clothe Adam and Eve, a small act of compassion that showed he would not abandon them even in their brokenness. So they left the garden, stepping into an uncertain world, but God's promise traveled with them. It would carry across generations, echoing through the ages, and find fulfillment in the person of Jesus Christ, who would come to redeem and reconcile, to make all things new. So through these chapters, we see a beginning filled with beauty and purpose, the breaking of that wholeness and the promise of restoration. It's the foundation, it's the beginning of the greatest love story ever told. A story of a creator who loves, a humanity that stumbles, and a promise of reconciliation that invites us back into the relationship with God. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, Leon with SLS Digital. Come for the music, stay for the radio, find your sound, and now we're going to transition back into the music.